What's up guys, welcome to your 41st Java tutorial, and in this tutorial, as promised, I'm going to be building 4 different objects, and these objects are going to use this tuna class, and depending on how much information they have them, they're going to use a different constructor for each one. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So let's get some spacing right there so you can see it good, adjust my headphone, and bam, I'm good to go. So in order to make objects, let's go ahead and name this tuna object, and we'll set this one equal to new tuna, and this isn't going to take any arguments at all. So if we go look in our tuna class right here, and you know that it has no arguments because nothing's in here, we look at which one of these constructors has no arguments. Well, this one has an hour, this one has an hour and a minute, that's 2 numbers, this one has 3 numbers, but this one right here has no arguments right here. So what it's going to do is insert 3 arguments and call this constructor again. So then it's going to go down here where this one takes 0, 0, 0. It's going to set the time to 0, 0, 0, and then set the hour to 0 and minute to 0 and second to 0. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and build some more objects, but this time let's give them different parameters or different arguments. So let's go ahead and copy this and paste, 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 and we'll name this tuna object 2, 3, and 4, and we'll give this one tuna object 2, we'll give it 1 parameter, we'll give it an hour of 5. We'll give tuna object 3 2 parameters, we'll give it an hour of 5 and a minute of 13, and we'll give tuna object 4 an hour of 5, minute of 13, and seconds of like 43 or something. So for example, this one right here, it has 2 arguments, so it's going to look at this constructor right here. Is this constructor good for me? No, this has 0 arguments and I got 2, so I'm not using you. What about is this constructor good for me? Well, I got 2 numbers and this one only lets me insert 1, so I ain't using you. What about this one? Well, this has 3 and I only got 2, so I don't think so. Oh bam, the last one's just right. I got 2, you got 2, let's use it, baby. So that pretty much what happens with these objects. That's what's going on right now. But now that we got these objects, let's go ahead and actually use them. And so let's just go ahead and print out the time. So system out printf, we'll just do a simple print format, and again this takes 2 arguments. The first argument is how you want to format it, and I want to format it, and since we're going to be using this right here, public string to military, this returns a string, so we probably want to put percent string with a new line right there. And actually new line goes this way, I believe. That would have been embarrassing. And so this one returns a string, so now we can use our tuna object and then put something like 2 military with no arguments. And what this is going to do is it's going to return our tuna object with no arguments right here. So let's go ahead, and you might as well do the other ones right now while we got this nice and copied. This is tuna object 2, 3, and 4. Now let me run this and make sure I don't have any errors, and hopefully it runs right, and bam, look at this. Now the first one was object, it was just tuna object, and we didn't enter any parameters. The second one, we entered a 5 for the hour and it filled in 0 for the rest. The second one, we entered a 5 for hour and 13 for minute and it filled in the rest to 0. And this last one, tuna object 4, it filled in all of them for us, or actually we did it ourselves. So let me see if I can position this right, since my screen recorder is messing up again. And now let me go through one of these and show you guys exactly what it did. Not dud. Why the heck did I say that? So anyways, let's just pick one that you can understand easy. And how about tuna object 3? Right here we made an object that had 2 parameters right here, 5 and 13. So it went to tuna where it creates everything, and it went to our constructors and it says, alright, which one of these constructors has 2 arguments? This one has 2 arguments right here. So I'm going to use this one. This one has 0, 1, and 3. So I'm going to use this one that has 2. Well, what it did was plugged in, what was our numbers? 5 and 13. It used the 5 for hour, the 13 for minute, and it used the default of 0, and it called this constructor again, but this time it used its 3 new numbers. So whenever you use the 3 numbers, it uses this constructor right here, and what this constructor does is set time. It calls the set time method. So now it says, alright, I'm going to send you to the set time method. So let's scroll down and see what the set time method tells us to do. Well, it tells us to do 3 more methods right here. Set hour was pretty much check if it was between 0 and 24, which it was 5. Set minute checked if it was between 0 and 60, which it was, and set second, that was that 0 it plugged in for us. That we didn't have to do anything for that. So then we said, alright, we're good there. So then when we finally called the to military method, what did it do? Well, it pretty much just said, alright, we want to use this method for that object right here. So what we're going to do is get that hour, which was 5, get that minute, which was 13, get that second, which was 0 by default, and I'm just going to return them all to you in a nice, pretty looking string format right here. So that is why whenever we called this to military, it just outputted the string right down here, 5130. So that is, of course, a very complicated way, but again, you need to know it, on how you can use overloaded constructors to, let me scroll down here, to make a bunch of different constructors based on how much information you enter. And in that example I just told you, since we entered 2, it picked this constructor. And that is how you can pretty much use different objects with different amounts of information in it. So this will be clear when pretty much we're building more programs. And this was just an example, so it might be a little fuzzy right now, but you'll understand eventually in the next couple of tutorials. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you understand at least the basics of overloaded constructors and how they are useful when creating objects with different argument lengths. So again, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will